Awesome.
So, good morning, YouTube. We're a little late, but you know what? We got a lot of great price action under our belt this morning from Open, and
We're on time.
I just mapped this out on the 5 second chart just before I went live here. That 50% retracement was glorious, perfect bull trap. Watch this. We love spotting these bull and bear traps lately. It's been pretty fun.
That whole teaching on bull and bear traps.
Oh man. Yeah, we've had like
Sound like an old man.
a whole week of that. So
Man, he could do a whole seminar on this stuff.
totally. And I put on one of my the way I found exactly what this retracement was going to do is I put on one of my unorthodox trend lines where I come up on top of price and then under it cross over. That found the support point right when this was happening. I drew that line and then just drew down from the top here, right in that line. As soon as it crossed out of this wedge, we knew exactly where the 50% retracement was. And we just draw a line straight across that 50%. We know where to go short.
Fantastic, Ricardo.
And then down here on the 1 minute chart, we're confirmed. We got a spinner
Thank you.
in a 20 period after a bar above the 8 period. We're going to complete an evening star here. This tells you can be short. First target's going to be about 388.05. Not a huge move for SPY, but when you're trading the ES, that's some quick action. That's a quick 3-pointer.
Couple of points.
Exactly. So what we expect when we see these evening stars happening right on top of the 8 period like this on the 1 minute chart is return to the 8 period. So that's where you get your target from. And it'll give you a little bit of range difference between the 5 second chart and the 1 minute chart, but sure enough, bam. And then we get the Busby effect where we get a touch on that price and then a quick move back up, completing that bar, usually within a penny. And then we get another rejection where we can go short again.
Beautiful thing.
Love those Busbys, man.
I'll be back again. Something's going to happen.
Bam, breaking the 1 minute 8 period, close that candle with anything but a hammer on the 8 period, and this will remain bearish. But if you close a hammer here, this can go for another attempt at that 50% retracement.
When you say Busby, do you mean tweezer bottom?
The Busby is simply like an evening star where the third bar in the evening star tells you what the range is, and then your trade is actually on the fourth bar. You trade the fourth bar up from support back to the top of the third bar. So like you would have a limit order where you go and buy the bottom, like if this were SPY, you'd be like 380.22 would be your long entry, and then you would have a limit sell right up here at 380.40. So a quick 2-point move on the ES.
Gotcha.
And then at that point, you can either set your limit order to take profit on your bull trade and close it, or take a reversal and reverse your position and go short, and then ride the rest of it down.
I have so much still to learn.
It's fun. Once you start playing with that reverse button, dude, things just start to click. It's like, aha, I know exactly where I can take profit and flip my position and run it down the other way.
I haven't been able to figure that one out yet.
And it's just when you
The
can.
only thing with the reverse button is that you need to have enough capital.
Right.
Because when you click reverse, basically you're holding out two positions.
Yep.
So you need to have enough capital to hold those two positions there. That's something that I didn't learn when I had TOS, and I used to trade futures in TOS because the margin was like $23,000 for the NQ or something. And I'm like, I click reverse and shit wouldn't reverse. It doesn't reverse because I don't have $60,000 in my account to hold both positions. Crap. And then you go into a loss, because you couldn't reverse quickly enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to manually close it and then go short.
I know. Yeah, exactly. That's what you have to do is like just sell it and buy it again or something. You had to do that. until I build up enough that I could do the reverse. But then I changed it to trade of eight, which only charges me what $500 or something like
Right.
that, $800, which is, you know,
You can deal with it. Yeah, that's what
I
I
can
was
do
running into.
that,
Is
you know.
if I had some size on the ES, like I didn't have enough liquidity to hit that reverse button, I wouldn't take the long position to begin with. I'd just wait and just manually do it. But when I go into stuff like this, I can plot out trades on a 5-second chart that I see happening in the setup on the 1-minute chart that fast. So like when you're able to get into that reverse button, even on the MES, it's fun. You know exactly where to take profit on your long position and flip it into a short position, and then you get twice in the same 1-minute candle. That's how quick it happens.
Amazing that.
And it just takes recognizing when you see an evening star, and where that evening star is almost as important. You got to also know where the retracement is. This is the channel. We know where the support is. We know where the resistance is at the 50% of this trend, right where it broke over. And you know where your base targets is. And this is also setting up, look a little further back, just a bigger bear flag. And your key support is right there at that 50% level, where price just bounced here. So you could take your profit off your short right here, and you just sit and wait for the next couple candles to wrap out before you go and take another position. It's like you've got all of this done. You had a quick bull scalp, a really quick pair of bear scalps, and then you can leave that running. I would probably follow that with a trailing stop, and then I would have gotten taken out in this bar right here, and then I can go and decide what to do next. Well, it's got to break this support if we're going to remain bearish. There's your break. So let this candle wick back, and then you just take it on the wick on the 5-second chart up here.
All right, we're getting into a price squeeze right here right now.
Yeah, it's back in that box I drew on the 1-minute chart here. This area here.
It's into that, you know, it's getting to the where price is going to squeeze here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is beautiful.
That's where that liquidity is sitting.
You just gave YouTube all that information, didn't you?
I did.
That is freaking awesome. You know what was really good about that? Is that it's only available, the replay, for our members. Because I'm going to go back and listen to that. That was a great explanation. Thank you.
And are we still selling lifetime memberships here?
We got away from that. Mainly we did that as a sale last year, just to kind of bring some traffic to our organization. But I think at some point we're probably going to go back into those in the next few months, I would imagine, because it was wildly popular.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great deal, man.
Yeah,
I was the
lifetime
first to
member
sign up
after 6 months.
when Lucian posted that. I'm like, heck yeah, I've been here with you guys for a while. Let me sign that up.
heck
Yeah, right before I signed up for a lifetime member. Listen, y'all, I'm high on Bullish Bears. I love this place. Yeah, forget that I'm a moderator. I really love this place. And there were some people, there was a guy who went off with his mentor and his mentor had a site, so he went off with him. It was a great thing. It was wonderful to see him grow up and do that. But then he said, hey, if you want to join us, come join us. It's only, so much money a year. And it was like twice what we were charging for a yearly membership.
Right.
And I thought, no, I'm loving this right here. So 6 months after I said, hell, I'm doing a lifetime. I jumped in and did a lifetime. I was like so thrilled I did it.
It's just worth it. On the secret menu, if you reach out to Angel and ask her about that, she might be able to do a little thing for people who have been a member for a while. She might be able to do something like that. Just to kind of FYI. As far as the organization goes, like I've I kind of mirror this with the book I'm recently reading called The Go Giver, and like one thing that you do when you put out more value than you're charging for, so to speak, is you create an army of ambassadors, and that's right back to what Stone just said. It's like he's here singing our praises, and I know I try to be humble, and I don't. I'm not as receptive as I should be to taking any positive feedback like that, but it really comes full circle like that when you go and put that value out there and it comes back to you, and it's like it just warms your heart. That's all I gotta say. But it's also a good when it comes down to it, it's also a good business practice to be producing a valuable service that is beyond value in what we charge is very minimal. So that's where we kind of mirror that ability to build the community, and the only reason we charge anything at all is to keep the lights on so we can keep doing this.
I do this because I love to do it, and I want folks to be able to have a shortcut to do other things. I've been like this my whole life, so I don't care if anybody believes me or not. This is wonderful. I love being here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep. And they didn't get to hear all the good cutting up we did earlier.
Oh man, we're having a ball. I got a comment on our YouTube channel, Synthetic Wand Prints from Wiz. Oh, that's cool. Asked, he's like, my spy puts are looking like trash right now, and there's no reason they shouldn't be unless they were like today expiration or next day expiration or something like that. And I replied with, you ever trade spreads? That's why I trade spreads right there, because that time decay on SPY options is ridiculous. And then you get the opening range where the implied volatility fades off of them really fast. It's a no-brainer to not trade single options positions. It would be better to trade spreads, because when you trade a spread, you have a short leg working for you with that time decay and that implied volatility fade. And you feel much less effect of that time decay and implied volatility fade when you have both positions long and short.
Yep.
So yeah, spreads are the way to go with that. I mean, I know there's a lot of people, like I see it I look at the Webull community where there's people commenting on different equities and stuff, and they're like, oh, my SPY puts are printing right now, or my SPY calls are printing right now, or whatever the heck. And I'm just like, how much of that are you giving away in time decay? Think about that for a second, because I'm looking at these people like that are holding overnight, and they end the day with comments like, my puts are going to print overnight or tomorrow, or I'm just like, why would you hold that as a single position overnight? Convert it to a spread and lock it in. That's the way to go. Spreads will always win. Well,
Is that a double bottom fake out on the SPY 1 minute?
it's hanging around that 50% retracement on the 1 minute chart here, and it's threatening to break that support level, but it's looking more and more like a bear flag. I'm thinking it'll probably stay in this range just a hair under 380.10 for a few more bars before we break one way or the other. So it's not necessarily a fake out until you see a quick flip on it. Actually, I'm going to go to 380.15.
I mean, we did have 3 fairly decent sized bear flags, though one of them, was from the full almost 100% retracement to the open. So if we're going to be bearish, we do have the ability to get at least one more flag. But if you look, they're getting smaller each run.
Right.
So that's a little bit of a concern. We may not get a big flag going back down.
Yeah, there's your double bottom.
So the 50 moving average is about to cross below the 200 on the 15-minute chart right now. They just touched.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So the 50 is going below the 200?
The 50 is going below the 200 on the 15 minutes right now. And remember when I posted this chart, the consolidation chart this morning?
Yeah.
So this could be that move that we're waiting to see something happen. A little fake out on the 1 minute, and then the 15 just dumps.
Right.
Back up to that evening star. Hey, there's a 10-year note announcement at 11 a.m. and there's some a 3-year note announcement, a 30-year bond announcement. There's some auctions. I think those announcements could be some may affect it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
I know
so,
we
so
got
here's
petroleum at
something I
11
never
too.
understood. I know Sig talked about this before. So when these auctions are happening, right? I haven't paid attention, but what happens when, the Fed is auctioning that is, what's the expectation with price?
Well, if you go to investing.com, it usually gives you some indicator. It depends upon that lets you gauge it and gives you I think it's 3 bullheads to full 3 bullheads is they're expecting volatility. But the auctions that I pay attention to aren't so much the few months. It's the ones that have years behind them. But I'm not sure what a 30-year bond announcement will do. But that's a lot of stuff that's happening at 11 o'clock, including the petroleum status report. So there's something's going to happen at that time.
Right.
There's going to be some volatility.
Yeah, it's coming. Definitely getting some volatility in
But
play
but
here.
Ironclad, I guess I'm saying I don't know what the hell I'm talking about with that. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I just pay attention when they start saying years. I start paying attention.
Yeah. So
I need to ask Sig that again sometime.
here comes your quick reach right to that 380.75 pivot. Not quite going to make it. Give this a second to tell you if this is going to be a fake reversal or not. And I started drawing it out and mapping it while you're talking. Like there's your double bottom. There's your R1 breach. All your targets are in this trend here. It met every one of them, broke above, stayed in this control bar here. We can get an extension to 380.70 real quick. And if we reject off of that, we can go short again. And
I think this is one of those 50% retracements of the 50% retracement.
Yep.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was going to say, because we got the 50% retracement. I turned it orange right here. It's done it twice, and then now we've got this rising channel. Your 50% of the rising channel is actually this guy right here, the 380.15. So I'm going to run back to the left here.
I swear, if we do dive back down in that range again and start challenging that shadow box, I'm just going to be laughing because I brought down my long call's value down to 368 when I paid 400 for it, and then if I get to lock into another no loss, I'm just like, today is just ridiculous.
It's like, why not? Yeah, this is our liquidity zone that we've discovered.
It's the beauty. This is the beauty of range trading.
Yes.
Yeah.
You find the range and you literally just float between one pivot and the other.
Yeah, it's great because I can eat theta decay on that long position today because I've traded so much on the short side, so I can actually hold this naked through the night if I wanted to and be okay.
Right.
But ideally, I'd like to convert it back into a spread, particularly on the short side. But it'd be nice if we would dump hard enough that I could sell an initial strike out, because that'd be really fun.
I'm going to go and redraw that shadow box real quick, because that's the one that's important. And it's still, I'm going to take a page right out of Stone's book here. You guys want to see this?
Ha 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 ha! You make me laugh.
I'm going to go and draw this box for you and show you where I got it. And it's going to take a couple times.
It's the in between, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this wick on this 1 hour candle right here.
That's it.
This guy right here. And we essentially just take that box, run it across, just hold it in that wick.
Yep. Anytime you get those where two candles join like that at like a pivotal area.
So there's your liquidity box for the high, and then you got another liquidity box lower. And I'll show you where I'm going to get that.
Tweezer top.
Not only that, I think it's going to be required to close that little gap on the 1 minute, right? Because there was a gap between those two big green candles in the middle, right?
Oh, back here?
Which it did close that. Yeah, just literally just now on the
Right.
move we made up, there was a gap in between the two middle candles.
That's it. Boop boop. Right in that in between, Stone calls it, on a 1 minute chart.
It's probably some technical name for it. See, we were talking about that earlier. Ironclad. We got names for stuff.
Yep.
Well, yeah. It's whatever makes sense to you, you know?
We make our own vocabulary. That's right. Come on, go to 0.
Get out of town. I'm literally locking in another no loss position if we dive just a slight bit lower.
That's just one big bear flag. That's what we saw coming. It stayed in that range, played up into pivots. Bam, we're just trading in between.
50% retracement.
And like I said,
50% retracement.
as soon as we see this reject again, we go short again. That was our signal. Bam. Coolest thing ever. And if you're trading SPY options, this is where you take and you do exactly that. You float in and out of your short legs and lock in that profit. It's the craziest thing ever. And I was going to mention there to Synthetic One Prince over there. That's another thing you can do is if you start with a single options position and it starts to have a massive amount of profit to it while you're in a day. And this is especially important if you have an account that's under PDT. You can rotate a short leg against that long option and turn it into a spread and lock it in. So like, let's say you had like, I don't know, a 378 put, and that little move right there, gave it enough profit to where the 377 put is worth more than you paid for the 378 put. You just sell the 377 put and you lock in that profit, the difference between the two. That can't lose. And better still, if price keeps moving that direction, that spread itself will actually become more and more valuable to where you can close the whole thing as a spread and take profit on the whole thing. But you can never lose the overlap. Even if it expires worthless altogether, you keep the overlap.
Jeremy, you just made my day because my net cost on my long put now is 368. The next strike out from where I was selling, which is the 363? Sorry, 373, is about to sell at that exact point. So I'm considering entering a no loss there, but not necessarily be like I'm guaranteed profit, because if that decays out, then that'll be awesome.
Right. And then oftentimes when it gets to the 0 day, like there'll be such a big spread between the two that you can actually go and buy back the short leg for a penny and just ride the long leg if there's any momentum left in it, and then close it. You can leg back out of it for a bigger profit. So it's kind of cool to be able to do that.
I'm locked in at a $3 like cost basis below the 368 that I paid for. So I sold a 371 for the what is that? The 373 put.
Nice.
So that's pretty sweet. And so now I'm guaranteed at least $3 out of the spread based on where I left off. And
it's $2
we keep
wide.
running on the downside. Yeah, it's $2 wide now, so I have a higher max profit, which is nice.
Yes. That's awesome. So yeah, when you get into spreads, dude, and like we keep telling people out there, it's like for the price of taking a family of 4 to Chick-fil-A, you can get a month membership out of us, and we'll teach you every bit of this.
Chick-fil-A is a cult.
Yeah.
Guys, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Oh, are you guys busy trading, or is it a lull in the market? Because I can wait.
We're in here. We're in here, so you can ask.
We talk while
Right.
we trade. That's why we're here.
Okay. Obviously, now I'm going to have 1,000,001 questions about futures because I've just literally started on them last night. But you guys are trading options today in this market with the SPY, not the MES, obviously. Why are you trading options?
No.
We're
We're
mixed
trading
bag.
the MES.
Yep.
I've been trading the MES all morning. I've been doing great.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just.
I'm going to tell you what I've been doing. So ask.
Not to break that trend line on the
Yep.
ES.
Sayonara. Big old bear flag,
This-
like I said.
Those were 3 touches on the morning. Three touches this morning.
Just
3
watch
peaks.
out. Just watch out. There's about 600 orders waiting at 38.30.
Yep. I was going to say there's going to be a liquidity box right down there.
Yeah. So that could cause the bounce, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Or you can blow it right through it and just get those guys and hit the next level down, which is probably 38.25, which we've been talking about 38.25 for a while, right?
Right. It's also 38.25 is also 38.25.25 is a VWAP, previous
So-
VWAP.
Watch the daily volume profile, and you'll start to see. Whoops, hold on one second.
I'm sorry. Let me shut up in here so that she can ask her question.
Oh, sorry.
No,
That's
no,
okay.
Yeah,
please,
we're
please,
trading the
please.
MES. We're
Guys,
trading the
carry on.
MES. Yes.
Honestly,
Answer your
I
question.
got- No, it's fine. Honestly, guys, I'm literally just watching and learning today. You guys do your thing.
No, come on. Ask your question.
Bring it.
Well, I was I was going to say, obviously you're trading futures now, right? Okay, so I'm learning, and I've probably got a few videos left to watch. But is it a case of you can just literally buy and sell, like with penny stocks? Obviously, like when you're short in the market, the account's going to be set up differently, and you need your margin in there and everything, blah blah. But is it the same way you just like enter a trade, you set a stop loss? Going short or going long, and then you leave it run, and if it doesn't work, then you cut it off. Is it that simple? I mean,
That's
Yeah.
what I've been doing all morning
That's it.
long. Exactly what
It's
you just said.
directional. So futures is a
Wow.
directional play. So it's either going up or going down, and you're making points on those. The only thing is don't hold a position overnight on a future contract if you're at a loss, because at the end of the day, they cash that money out of your account.
Yep.
Right. So futures are like day trades. It's just directional day trade. You buy a contract, you sell a contract. That's as simple, as basic as it is. That's why I love it, because you can make a shitload of money, and you can sleep with your money without having to worry about the next day what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yep.
and the other thing is, like, I've been trading penny stocks, and price action on penny stocks is not how can I put this? It's not predictable at the moment because we're in a bear market, and they tend to be a bullish trade. So what you guys have done, Stone, you learned trading penny stocks, but it was in a bullish market. Now we're in a bearish market. Futures is where it's at, isn't it? So price action will become a bit more predictable because it's an up and down market, not one way. Am I right in thinking that as well? Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes and no. And I say yes and no because yes, it is a smoother price action, but no, not necessarily. I mean, yes also because bullish, you can only go bullish in penny stocks, but no in the sense that through penny stocks, I learned what to look for in traps.
Yes.
And I learned what to look for and how to get out. Tweezer tops and evening stars. Okay, get out. I see something forming, get out of my trade. Well, now in futures, it doesn't matter what the hell the market's doing. It really doesn't. In futures, because we use price action, Jeremy and I use price action, and we use technical analysis, we can go up and down and use our penny stock knowledge because it's price action. It's the same, but it is smoother. But the only thing, the biggest difference here is you can get ready for a news event at 11 o'clock and know that at 11 o'clock something's wild's going to happen, and you can get out of it without some big surprise. In
Right.
penny stock, you never know when you're going to get caught in the surprise. So
Right.
this
Yeah.
becomes smoother. It becomes smoother. And I can't give advice. So let me just put it this way. This is what I like because of it. And so a lot of folks I understand who trade at penny stocks have moved here because we lost the volatility in penny stocks that we had, particularly during the pandemic. That volatility's gone away, so we don't have numerous penny stocks that you can trade and follow in that bull market that we had before. Now we have to get out of it, but that knowledge you can use here. And like Ironclad said, a good trader who's smart and uses their price action can follow this stuff, make money during the daytime, good money, and then sleep at night because you're not holding anything. It's done. You're done.
So you've basically, obviously, learned in price action. You've just changed your strategy for a different market.
Well, I learned my price action, but I changed my strategy because I can go bearish now. And, so now I can go bearish. Those traps that I used to worry about, I wait for them.
Yep. That's it.
I wait for them.
Yeah, you wait with
Yeah, I'm almost
anticipation,
done.
licking your bare
I
teeth.
can't give advice. I can't give advice, and we can't do that. But I mean, and more and more, and even now more and more as we go along, we're telling everybody what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're showing you how we fish, and we're telling you what we look for, what ponds we fish in, what bait we use. We're telling you everything we do, and it just takes a little while because there's so much to absorb that has to happen. And in a matter of seconds, I've thought about a million things, and I'm like, I'm in there. So it works. So welcome to the other side.
This is it.
Thanks, guys.
This is what your price action trading with penny stocks is going to lead to. It's the natural next step, and it's phenomenal when you can start learning how to trade both directions. Having only learned how to trade penny stocks, and like the other couple of days, I showed you those two equities we were watching where we knew exactly when not to take a position on those. That's the stuff you look for on futures because you can short those. You know where they're going to break over and fail. So when you get that knowledge of making that valuable, of knowing when not to trade on penny stocks, that's what Stone's talking about. Now he waits for those bull traps and he takes position on them and is able to short them. And
one last thing, history. We have history.
Yes.
We're not sitting there looking for something that's been dormant for 6 months.
Right.
We have history to be able to go get historical pivots and to know and have pivots and ranges that we know we can trade in that day. I'm going to shut up.
When I say predictable, that's kind of what I meant. Was you're not trading something that's been flatlining at a certain price for 20 weeks. You've got something that's a little bit more alive, and you've got more to work with. Because it's not just a flatlining stock and then it bounces. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
We've got constant moving history, and we can constantly look back at what it's done before and anticipate what it's about to do.
Look left.
Days in futures are very, repeatable.
Yep.
Patterns of those days, they repeat itself. So if you identify things like one of my techniques is looking at breakout bars and the gap that it creates when a bar breaks out, and 90% of the time price goes back to those levels. So once you get a momentum and you get direction, you know where your target is.
And the thing is, if the market goes bullish in the future, futures can be traded with bullish markets as well, isn't it? So once you've got futures under your belt, you're good to go anywhere.
Yep.
So futures, the way I look at it is they trade, instrument. So you trade it every day, whether the market is going up or down, it doesn't matter. You're trading that day. With, of course, if the whole market is bullish, then yes, the index is going to be bullish, right? If the whole market is bearish, it possibly can be bearish. Or you can get a day like today, which has been amazing because you can go up and down on a range day. You make money as, candles go up, or make money as candles goes down.
Yeah, got you. Thanks, guys.
It's super easy.
Yeah,
I love futures. I mean, I used to do stocks and options and stuff, and it's a lot more complicated. You got to be on top of it, and my heart's pounding and stuff. Right now, I got my technique on my futures. I click join the ask, join the bid, reverse. That's all I do all day.
Yep, and it's relaxing. It's therapeutic.
This is great. You just articulated
amazing
about futures.
Yes,
that's amazing.
And at the same time, I'm over here still teaching options and stuff because it's kind of a transitionary period where you got a lot of people who trade calls and puts directly. Being able to do those options combinations is very valuable as well. And if you're going to be a long-term investor, it's great to get to know those because over time, you start understanding how options move. You can have your long-term investments in like your retirement portfolios where you may not necessarily be able to trade futures, and you can go and sell options on those positions and make income from options, and then generate income while you're trading futures, and everything's kind of autopiloted in your retirement account. So it's like kind of good to learn all you can.
Yeah, I'm planning to. It would be nice if I could actually, start making a bit of money, but that's not my aim immediately. I just want to learn futures, so I'll just watch you guys for a bit.
No, do it, and everything that we have on price action, everything that we've put in the YouTube channels that both Jeremy and I have done, everything in there has meaning, and it's just a part of a big picture. And so all that stuff works. Listen, those channels, man, they're happening today. You've got channels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe you got almost a dozen channels there, maybe not that many on a 1 minute chart, but it's like they got tops and they got bottoms.
Yep.
And for me, that's my strategy. I like to get in when a channel breaks. And in the futures, you see that those channel breaks are quick. They're not slow. And so you can get in there and you can make money while you learn. Just but this is where I use limits. I put my stops in because if I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong only a little bit. But I'm not going to be wrong and let my losses go and then get caught in that paralyzed trance and go, what did I do wrong? And that happens. So I have to put a stop loss in. And I put my targets in because I don't want to manipulate the trade.
When you say you put your targets in, what do you mean by that? What, you set up the trade with an exit strategy and a target price in mind, yeah?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I want to be able to, like I put that video in, I want to recognize it. I want to measure the move. I want to measure the move because I need targets. And then I'm going to set my limit orders for my targets and my stop loss and my entry. And I'm going to let the trade come to me. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to lose a little bit. And if I'm right, I'm going to make more than I'm going to lose. So that's how I do it, and you can do that in the futures. And then the last thing I'll say on top of the other three last things that I said I would say is that the beauty of learning like the MES is that once you learn this and you can start trading like debit spreads, then man, you got your direction down. And if you could, day trade a debit spread, even in a small account every few days, you can do a good one because oh yeah, look, price is going to do this here. We're coming to the top of a channel. Oh crap, I can get a spread and do some contracts on the futures at the same time. Bada bing, bada boom.
Debit spreads are options. Steady on, no stone. Right, let me just get the futures.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I said debit spreads is because I think they're easier than anything else with options.
Yeah.
It's less to think about. That's just it. It's less to think
futures
about.
options as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's futures options as well. Absolutely.
Yep. There's futures options. There's also SPX options, which have no chance of assignment. So you can go.
So the beauty of like if you have two screens, get the ES on one screen and get your SPX and SPY options that you want to trade on the other screen, and you can just buy and sell based on the direction of that too.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to be looking at the SPY chart to trade SPY options. You can look at the ES chart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can do
or the NQ chart and the NQ chart for QQQ.
Right.
Yeah. And you can play QQQ, SQQ, TQQ, right? All of those, they all move, either inverse to the price action or along with the price action of, NQ.
And we don't get in trouble for talking about it because you can't pump the futures.
Nope.
You can't pump the futures. I mean, the futures are the futures. A few of us, sitting in this room trading the futures are not going to make the futures move when you've got a couple of hundred institutional traders, plus whales and all that stuff trading this stuff. We're not going to make it move.
No, we're
so we don't get in trouble.
We're a spit in the ocean.
I try not to play futures after the open at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, right? Whenever that is, because the way I see it is, there's no institutions playing at that time. It's just us playing against each other. So it's very little volume.
Right.
Now you can play. So, for example, 8 o'clock Eastern is when the Chicago Mercantile opens, and that is a heavily futures trading, house. So if you're a futures trader, 8 o'clock is a great time to trade. 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yep, that pre-market between 8 and 9:15 is just golden.
Yep. But you need to have a larger account to hold the margin on that,
Yeah.
because the margin between 9:30 and 4:30 is different than the margin between the 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock and 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, in Tradeovate, I don't know if right now I have no idea what it is, but in TOS, the margin, it's, $25,000 for NQ and $18,000 for the ES.
Yeah, and in the in Tradeovate, I think it just doubles. So like your MES contracts will go to like 110-day margin, and then the ES will go to like $1,100 or something like that. So it's like, you don't need a huge account to trade futures either. A lot of people are freaked out about that. Like, oh, you need a $500,000 to do anything in there. No, you don't. You can go trade the MES or the micros, and in some cases you can trade nanos. Be careful, because there's a liquidity issue with nanos typically. Like he said, institutions are not messing with nanos, so you're just kind of, your contracts are traded amongst other traders. That's it. So you get into trading the MES, and like your day margin requirement is $55 a contract. So like you could literally start with a $500 account and trading the MES and be confident enough to know that you're not going to blow your account up in one trade. I would say it would be better to start with about 1,000 if you're just starting to transition from being very good at price action, scalping pennies and scalping options before you go and trade the ES or the MES. Have some flexibility to know that you're going to lose a few trades, and you're going to make it really hard to figure out where your loss limit should be if you don't have enough to make it through a few trades. So you've got to be able to have a little bit of liquidity. When I went and started trading futures, I started with a $500 account, and gosh, I didn't fully understand the margin risks on that, and I was taking positions that I normally wouldn't take as far as risk to reward ratio goes. I was out of my risk element or my risk plan, and traded very successful with it. But if for any reason I would have gotten locked out of my account, the power would have gone out, something weird happened where I wasn't on that 5-second or 10-second chart the whole time, I could have easily been wiped out in one trade. So that's the kind of thing you got to kind of know about, is that you need to be able to have some flexibility in that account and understand how futures move before you go and jump into them. But certainly,
Right.
go paper trade them too.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm setting up today.
And
Okay. No, the news
Is this
didn't
looking
do
to be a
squat.
trend day?
I think we're going to be a range day for now.
Yeah.
We can blend it into a trend day later in the afternoon. But I mean, we've got channels everywhere we look. Even on a 5-minute chart, there's a clean channel right here.
Right. So I'm just sort of figuring out, like, do I want to potentially, if we climb a little higher, do I want to buy back this short leg again in the 373, knowing that I may not be able to re-enter it?
Right.
So I'm a little bit torn there.
That-
But if we have a potential to really leg down again today, it might be worth it, you know?
That's that whole decision where are you gonna play with the short leg for a couple pennies and sacrifice the no lose, or are you going to hold on to it? That's a hard decision to make. So sometimes you got to kind of let it kind of hang out. And remember, this is that mid period of the day where
Where
options.
things start to just sort of dwindle down and just go sideways, and
Right.
yeah, the IV is down, so selling the option wouldn't be as easy either as far as getting the same value.
Right. So like you could sit on that no loss position and you could build from it. So like if like let's say you have the call side for some reason and you've got it in a no loss position, if price starts to run through it, you can still convert that into a butterfly. you can add legs to it and walk that into not only a no loss position, but you can go into increase your max profit from it.
So you're saying like so these are puts, right? So
Okay.
right now I have the 375 put and then the 373 put is sold short. So you're saying if we run to the upside, I could sell the 373 put and buy the 371 since
So-
it would be cheaper, and then I would be getting more premium out of the
With
short legs.
with puts it'd be different. So it'd be if price ran down, and like it was suddenly no longer worth it to buy back the short leg, you could instead turn that into a butterfly by selling another short leg and then buying the equal spread below it.
Right.
So you convert it to a butterfly, you increase your max
Whoa,
profit.
that candle.
So
See, a
if
candle like that makes me want to buy it back now and then
right,
resell it.
well, I drew this on the 5-minute chart, and I still have that orange line through here, the 380.50. That's our key pivot. It's also our 50% retracement of that channel. And I don't think we're going to quite get to it. I think this is a trap.
I mean, we did touch that channel top
Ooh.
3 times, though. I mean, every time we do, there's more risk to break up. But wow, okay, we broke right back down. Man, that would have been a good, quick trade.
So
Oh,
we
well.
created a double bottom on the 5 minutes right now.
Yeah. This is
We haven't been
L1.
able to break below the 38.25 yet, but if we do, then I see 38.15 coming, or
Yeah.
38.14.50.
That's right.
Yeah,
I concur. It's just a matter of what it's going to do here.
yeah.
My phone's being.
I mean, my ultimate down target is still 38.10. 38.10 is where I want to see us go, and then possibly do a little bounce back in it. I mean, everything that I got in here on the 30 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes, everything is pointing down and saying this thing is going to break. We're just currently sitting in this tight little squeezy range.
Dude,
Just
look at
waiting
that.
for that moment to say, okay, are we going to pick a direction? And when we do pick a direction, it's going to be an explosive one, I guarantee you.
Got
Look.
those dual wicks on the 1 minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at that big old tweezer with the bodies, though. It's gonna be a 3-bar.
It's like we're building, engulfing bullish, engulfing bearish, engulfing
Right.
bullish, engulfing bearish, It's like-
Let this close. This is going to be
Yeah.
pretty significant. It'll either be a 3-bar consolidation for a bullish measure move to push up to 380.72, or it'll break over really hard. This closes a wick, and we run right below the center line, right to that liquidity box again, which is 379.30 or 379.25. There it goes.
Looks like it's threatening. Man, if I had made that move quick enough, I would have been able to. That would have been so funny. I actually would have turned it back into a
79.
deeper no loss spread. How insane would that have been? So I would have been able to go strike out and been a no loss. How insane is that?
Somebody's really stacking up a lot of contracts around 38.29 and 38.29.50 and 38.30 on the ES. There's a lot of orders sitting right there. It's like we did earlier. We blew it right through it. We went down, picked up a few other orders, but we haven't been. I mean, we've been hitting that 38.25.50 area,
What is that?
right? Stone, that we've been talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just when is this gonna make that decision?
Is this an ugly triple bottom? I mean, I just did the thing on the triple bottom. Is this the freaking ugly triple bottom?
The only scare I have is this moving averages cross right there.
It's
It's
still
kind of it crossed, it spiked down, but it didn't take that effective moving average cross on the 50 and the 200. Right?
It's still threatening a 5-minute and 15-minute double bottom, that's for sure. But the range is way too high on the 1-minute chart for that.
The thing is, the double bottom that it did on the 5 minutes on the ES right now, it's a higher low.
Right.
Double bottom
Right.
is not a lower low.
No.
And that's what's scary because by definition, a double bottom price should break below the previous low and then reverse, right?
Right.
And this didn't happen. It reversed slightly above the low
Yeah, when they're
around that 325, 224 area. What was it? What was the lowest of that? 320, 350. And then the next one was at 325, 50 basically, or 75. So
really,
it's kind of tricky. I don't want to.
when
I mean,
it's,
I would go short. I would go short if it breaks below 38.25. Just, because it would, it would hit my 38.22. I would get 3 points there easy. That's $150. Buys lunch for the family.
Well, guys, unfortunately, I got to get going. I would love to stay because there's some great information, but thank you for
still on-
everything.
Thank you, Ricardo. Are we still on YouTube? I
Yeah.
stepped away for a few minutes. Good. This is
Alright.
great stuff. We're going to have to put this one up in the options chat
oh yeah, we've got
at
this.
here.
We've got this wedge opening up here. It is threatening to be that double bottom, but like you said, when you get the higher low, it just sets up
Yep.
what would ordinarily be a double bottom reversal becomes a continuation pattern. So
Yep.
it ends up looking like a bigger bear flag with a bunch of wicks on it. So let me dig into this a little bit more.
Kind of funny when you look at the 15-minute chart. This is literally like a descending wedge.
Right.
Like literally, you see the bottom, and then it just sort of slides right on down.
And we've got some data coming out at 11:30, don't we?
Oh, the data's already all come out. That's
Oh,
what's
okay.
blown my mind. So that might have been that 2 candles we got a wrong thing there.
What about the auction? The auction stuff, isn't that coming
Yeah,
up?
that already happened. We had that
Yeah.
at 11. At 11:30, we got a 4-week bill auction. Ain't nothing. So we're pretty much done with news for the rest of the day.
Here's what I think. If this does break, it sets up one hell of a bearish measured move.
Yeah, it does.
But if it holds, it can reverse here and go for a retrace back to 382 again. So this is cat's cradle for a minute, and probably gonna grind around here for another few bars before we know anything.
Whatever today is doing, man, the action is going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah,
Or this crap action is going to happen overnight, and then tomorrow we're going to range again.
right.
Because we don't have any Fed talks or any FOMC or anything until Feb, right?
Yeah, and I've also seen this do crazy volatility at the power hour too, where you'll get a quick gap down or gap up in the power hour, and then it'll retrace the entire gap in the overnight.
Yep.
And then you end up starting. If you start high, then it ends up going low. If you start low, it ends up going high. So one way or another, it tries to fill the gap twice.
The heck is Ford doing?
It's playing in
It's
a
on
neat
its own
range.
little thing. It's on its own little deal, man.
Yeah, it's saying to hell with the market trend. We're gonna go do our own thing.
We want to
And
do our own thing.
2-hour chart, we had those pivots lined out from those control bars. It's just gonna start walking them. This channel means nothing now. It's just a trend.
Now,
You see, that's the problem
there we
with
go.
stocks doing its own thing,
Right.
because it's messing up how the action is happening on the futures.
Right. It does have an effect on
You're
it.
getting a range a day, but then you got 3 or 4, advancers in there that are, really popping. Like it happened with Netflix, I think yesterday, right?
Yeah.
The day before, something Netflix was like skyrocketed, while everything else took a dump.
Yep.
Come on.
This is pushing right here.
There's angular support 5-second chart here, 379.02.
2-hour chart. It's got that look of the
I had
20
a
over the 8 over everything kind of going down.
All right, so we're back down, making another higher low, or we still got 3 minutes on this 5-minute candle.
We still got 3 minutes. It looks like it's getting ready to break that 25 level.
This is setting up a measured move on the 5-second chart right here. I think we come down to 378.70 after that. Got to break this angular though.
Yeah.
See what it does on this here. This is spinner. Silver doji on the 1.
OMG.
And what is that there? Sorry, I'm talking to myself. 323.50. Okay, that was that previous pivot. There it is. It broke to 25. I got a 315. Well, I got a 315.32 on TOS. Do you use TOS, Ironclad?
Yeah.
Is there any way to change the price on the when you're using the MES to where it's always a quarter? Or is it just when you set a price line, it just unless you're using open, high, low, close, you're going to deal with it?
No, you can right click on your line chart and change the price there.
Yeah, I usually do that.
Yeah. That's the only way. I mean, I find the price around the price, and then I just change as I added my name and the name of the price line and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
usually where I do the
I get
editing.
very close to it, and I just don't do it like a cent.
Yeah. I didn't do it. I knew that was going to be there. I get those. I get powder blue lines. That's my powder blue color is for the volume profiles. Ford's looking like an M top. I got 321.25, which is 2 lows.
All right, there it is. We touched that angular level at the 38.23, and we bounced right at it, man. Boom, hit it,
Bam.
bounce.
Yep.
A quick hit and a quick bounce.
We hit that 22. We went lower, so we broke that low, broke those previous lows. No, we haven't broken those lows. Sorry about that.
No,
We broke our previous low from the day.
We did break below. I mean, we closed the candle below the previous low of the day.
Right. I'm looking at some lows that I have from the 23rd and the 30th of December.
That was a nice
thought we had
breakover.
crossed them. That was beautiful.
So we went right to the bottom of that liquidity box down here.
Still recording this?
Yeah.
This has got great stuff.
And this in between I had on a 5-minute candle. I'm taking a page out of Stone's book here. When you see these wicks, it means price doesn't want to go there because there's liquidity here. There's buy orders sitting there. That's what made that wick happen. A bunch of limit orders kicked in and boom, we went bullish. So here we are back at the bottom of that liquidity box where those orders were there's still orders stacked. There's orders that were slightly below that didn't fill. So this is where you get liquidity, or all of a sudden those orders get pulled off the books and price is allowed to fall through. It's like if you're looking at
and that's about to happen right now.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the day volume on the ES chart, or you're looking at the volume profile on Webull here, you'll see you can't see the orders stacking up here. You can see what's on the book, but you can't see it on Webull like you would on the ES. But you'll see these bars stick out where there's all these limit orders waiting, and every 5-point interval you'll see the institutions stack up, and every odd interval between those, like a 2 or a 3 or whatever, a 1, you'll see a bunch of retail orders stacking up on those. But what's funny is institutions will sometimes pile into those retail orders and dangle it like a carrot, so people start chasing it, and then all of a sudden they'll pull those orders off the book the last second, like 1 tick before it happens, and then price will blow through liquidity. That is a neat trick. You watch them all do it, and it's essentially they're just trading. But that's how they roll. They'll sit there and they'll play with those 5-point increments. They love bagging 5-pointers. I like bagging 3-pointers because I can bag them from retail much more efficiently than I can try and bag 5-pointers from the institutions.
Right. You get a portion of and that's all you need is
Exactly.
a portion of it. Measured move.
It's setting up.
I mean, this is insane.
I love this price action because this is the price action that makes it easy. I mean, this is the good stuff. I'm going to turn that off because that's in the way. But I'm going to look at one more trend line on the 5 or on a 1 minute chart, just standing out. And what do we get with that? We get a channel and a wedge.
So now, if this in the next 2 minutes, if this candle closes, then we officially made a possible double bottom right there at the trend line, at the angular trend line.
Oh, on the 5 second chart? Yeah.
No, I'm looking at the 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We got some 15 days here. Save that special.
Let's say when we start to when we release our website rebuild and we start to see some traffic, just so you know, Mr. Ironclad, we're going to be recruiting some moderators. You're on my list.
Well, let me know, man. If I can come in, if I manage to get my schedule so that I can get those, first 2 hours of the day and whatnot, I would love to be chatting with you all and sharing my charts and stuff. It's
Well, that'd be an honor
be awesome.
on our part too.
This is enjoyable versus, sitting there and talking about how can we guarantee that a customer will get Wi-Fi throughout their entire house exactly the same way that they do it if they're sitting right next to the modem.
Yeah.
That guy's a man after my heart, and I love hearing this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Listen, I love playing music, but it has burnt me out on a lot of stuff. And it's like, if I can do this, I can stay home and, live I'll be hard working, but live a nice life.
Yeah.
You have a band, right, Stone?
Say again?
You have a band?
Not anymore. I'm semi-retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
I used to be a DJ in my younger days,
I did a little of that.
I played in a lot of clubs back in the late 90s, early 2000s when, people really went out to dance and party hardcore.
Oh man, I miss those days.
Me too.
I used to DJ house parties, frat parties, and stuff like that in basically in the greater Los Angeles area back in those days. That was a lot of fun.
I was in DC and New York. That was my domain.
Much better
We're in
scene.
D.C.
I lived right downtown where Adams Morgan is. Are you familiar?
Not that for me. It was 89. I lived there for a year. I used to play places called the Club Soda, hung out at places called the Grog and Tankard.
Yeah,
Spent some time in Fredericksburg too, Manassas.
DC is such a transitional city that clubs will open, they will stay live for 6 months and whatnot, and then they shut down, Or there's a shooting that happens, and then, government comes in and shuts everything up, and then the owner opens someplace else with a different name, lasts another 6 months.
Right.
All right, look at that. Look at that quick move back up.
Trying to adjust that trend line. It's right here. Now the double bottom slipped down.
Yep. That's what I was talking about. We hit the angular. The question is, will this get continuation, or are we just again gonna keep squeezing here?
I think it's going to keep squeezing, but it has a chance to reverse.
Yeah.
This has been a great morning, man. This stuff has been awesome.
Well, look, you got right now, on that 5 minute chart. We'll see. Looks like, kind of reversal candles there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of setting that up.
That's what I'm looking at. Listen, I'm going back and looking at old pictures of triple bottoms that I've taken. I don't know just because I see that every day. It's right above my main laptop. I got a triple bottom from the Bullish Bears wallpaper right staring me in the eye. So I'm like,
Oh, look at that triple bottom. This channel has had that third touch on angular resistance.
see it?
here. Yep.
You
right,
do see it?
right there on a
If you
1 minute
look
chart.
at it from if you look at it from the pre-market on a 5, squinch it up a little bit.
Oh yeah. That too.
You know, and they generally have a few, you know, a couple of, one side's got reversals, the other side's got a reversal candle set up,
Yeah.
and then there's usually something in the middle. Sometimes the middle's all ugly, like I had one the other day. It was all wicky, and it didn't look like it was 3 hits. It looked like it was several, but it was still a triple bottom.
It did break that liquidity box by a little bit though, so I'm like, it's still got a chance to continue down this channel.
Sure, and this candle will tell you a lot. If
Okay.
you know, if this candle goes, you know, all of a sudden shoots up or something and gives us a big strong bar, then you know, yeah, you might have a triple bottom. If not, and it just kind of peters out, and
Right.
you know, maybe it goes the other way, then we're going to just continue down. I like the if then this
Well,
statement thing.
here's a statement that makes a lot of that make sense in the next 2 1-minute bars. Here's your regression line, and price just met it right at the top of that liquidity box, right there.
Yeah, I love the term liquidity box.
The liquid box.
You have coined the term liquidity box. So, you know, 3 minute looks still like flag though, bear flag.
Yeah, it kind of does.
That's why I like having the multiple charts.
So we got a couple bars before we decide what happens. This regression line is going to be your limiting factor. That's your line in the sand. And if we break that, we definitely break into that liquidity box for the third time. And that's where things happen. We know the third touch is the magic touch typically on any chart pattern you see.
Right. And if you look at it on a 2-hour chart and you look left, you'll see that on the 28th 2-hour chart, I don't know how yours closed. Mine's the 3 o'clock and the 1 o'clock. We're at the in between.
Oh yeah.
That's where we are right now. We're at the bottom of a couple of days ago. We broke the low before that one. 38.14.25 is the low on.
I had that extended as
the third.
a limit line from way back.
Now we get a interesting 5-minute candle close.
Dang it. I can never get that right to 0. It's so hard. There we go. Oh, nope. My trigger control was lacking, so I made the gun move a little bit. There we go.
You hit the gun. We just broke angular resistance on a 1 minute.
There we go.
This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th
Yeah.
touch of that angular resistance. Just so you know.
Yep. 1, 2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
5.
And we,
I wouldn't even look at your chart. That's beautiful. I love it.
well,
And
I
this
drew
one
2.
on the 1 minute, it's a big triangle.
I have the
It's a
orange
big-
line, which is
big
just a trend
wedge.
line down from that peak.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the true channel, which is here. And we
True channel sounds like a radio station.
wicked right to that true channel.
Aha. Yes, Sensei.
So this is still no man's land. We're going to wait a couple more bars. Outside of
You're
this, we're
right.
bullish. Under this, we're bearish. That's simple.
No man's land. You said it. This is 11:37. Yeah, we're in no man's land, but you can still, you know, they fake you out every now and then.
Oh yeah. They'll
So
poke
we
it.
wicked into it. We hadn't broke it.
They'll poke
you
it.
got-
They'll play with you for sure.
But that looks like just a little range on the 10-second chart. So
Right.
nope, broke down.
There's a key
Let's see if
pivot
that's a
there too.
fake.
So that's that
Let's see if that's not
379.58 that
fake.
I marked.
What time is it? Gotta let this bar close.
Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up with our YouTube feed. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you like what you see, I mean, keep following us on YouTube. We do give a lot of stuff away on our YouTube channel, but you get inside the box with us, we got a lot more than what you're seeing here. You have no idea. Certainly check us out. If you like the video, tell your friends. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. But tell your friends, and they'll be impressed that you found us. I think that I can say that. A little bit of breaking my arm, patting myself on the back, but I think you can see that. And then also, I wanted to mention the folks over at Investopedia named us as #1 value for trading communities. So that speaks volumes. That's something to be proud of on our end. And we're overall #3 on their list for best communities to join for learning. We are educators here, and we teach you every little bit of this. So check us out. And like I said, we're still very cost effective for our memberships. We're literally voted best value. I mean, can't deny that. So hope to see you guys around, and we'll see you tomorrow on YouTube as well. Have a great one.